Welcome back. It's been a while since we've run a Zoom meeting. Probably like, what, a year or a year and a half or more. So a little rusty, but we get that part done. So now we're the good news is at the next agenda item, which is to review and authorize the town manager to sign the member of understanding and lease agreement with the Road and Bush Community Center Incorporated for 65 Main Street, 73 Main Street, and 170 Plain Road. And before I just call for a vote, just a lot of thanks to Kristen, to Mike Edwards, and to the Road and Bush staff, because this was a long time in the making, but I think it's the foundation for a really good partnership moving forward. So thanks to everybody who made this easy. After you probably saw all these meetings on the executive session for what, 4 months now. So it's we're there if we pass the vote. So is there a motion to approve my reading of the motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Well, I guess we're remote, so we'll do a roll call. Tom?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So you'll see it signed now, and it'll be in business. A few more things that are coming up, and I think I probably will defer to Mike or Kristen, because these are both contractual things that have arisen in the past few days that we want to get tidied up before the new board comes on board.
Yeah, I can start and be turning it over to Mike. So within the past week, we've been working with the owner's project manager and the contractor Hutter for the J.B. Fletcher Library project. And several items have come to our attention that need resolution before May 12th. In order for us to sign a notice to proceed with the contractor. So we wanted to take advantage of the board being in place today and not knowing that we wouldn't have a board meeting until May 13th, and not to prolong the schedule for the J.B. Fletcher Library construction project. So Mike, I will let you go through these three items that we have today. Two of them are contingent upon the Permanent Town Building Committee and the Library Board of Trustees meeting, which occurs on Monday evening this coming week.
Great. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Scott. So the first piece is really just a cleanup of our surplus policy. We've been very aggressively offloading stuff over the last several months. Sent you the memo with everything that we've been surplusing. It's been very successful since you allowed us to do the online auctions. Very easy for staff to put things up, very easy for us just to free up space and get rid of things. The one problem we've had is there's certain items we simply can't sell, nobody will buy, but they really still have some value, and Mass General Law prevents us from simply donating without a vote. So we've worked with council, we've actually worked with Mass DEP, because they've got some suggested language to add basically an authorization for us to do donations and dispose of things through the trash or through recycling. It's just a lot easier for us, rather than bringing you every chair and desk for a vote under MGL, to get a blanket authorization that once we've tried to sell it, once we've tried to reuse it ourselves, we can get rid of it just by calling Habitat for Humanity or somebody else to come and get it. So what we need is we need you to approve the policy change to allow us to do that. We wouldn't do any of this until we tried to sell it first for 14 days. But this lets us then donate. So we would need the policy to be approved, and then I've got a second motion to allow us to do that for fiscal 25. And then we'll bring back every year just a blanket authorization saying we can donate things once we've tried everything else in our policy. But that's pretty much where we're at. I sent you a red line version. My apologies. The one I sent out last night, the red line version was correct. I didn't accept the one sentence about the blanket authorization. So I sent you I sent you an email this morning with that corrected version. But anybody have any questions on the changes or anything? I'm
not seeing any hands. So that being the case, I would like a motion to adopt amendments to the Town of Westford policy for disposition of surplus goods and equipment to the allowed disposition through donation, recycling, and or solid waste.
So moved.
Second.
And Scott, I just put up in the chat a second motion just to let us do that for this year.
Wait,
Okay,
wait, we have to vote on this motion.
yeah. So, all in favor, Chris,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Andrea,
Aye.
Tom?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. And our next motion is to authorize the disposition of surplus supplies that remain unsold after auction in accordance with town surplus policy town surplus disposition policy as amended.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, John,
Aye.
Andrea,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
and I'm an aye.
I appreciate that. And I'll also say, if you haven't had a chance to watch the auctions, they've become kind of addicting for the people that put things up. And what we have learned is people will buy anything. So it's been a great way to raise a little extra money and clean some stuff up. So, okay, so that's that item.
Great. And then the next two items are related to the builder's risk policy, which the town is securing on behalf of the project. And this is just several options that we would like your recommendation on, and then permanent town building recommendation on, and then a vote for these contracts. So Mike, go right ahead.
I can speak to these. So the Permanent Town Building Committee, basically on advice of our office and the town council, is holding the builder's risk policy. That's really a best practice. It lets us control who the underwriter is and the quality of the underwriter and the policy itself. Because of that, though, we can't get anything other than an estimate until we get the actual contract or the actual bidder established so they can review their record. Once we get that, we get a formal proposal that's got the actual premium prices. They were right in line with what the estimates were. The only thing that was different, and this is kind of new in the industry, is normally they do have protective measures around security, lighting, fencing, things like that. All those things were in the contract. When we got the final contract, they did have a protective measure for water intrusion, detection, and alert. And basically, I'm sure you've been paying attention in Westford. That's been our biggest claim, have been water-related claims on buildings, freezing pipes, floods, things like that. This is a system that essentially puts in little monitors throughout the building. If moisture is detected, it has a standalone Wi-Fi that it sends a text message and emails to people so they can go check it out. And you know, the more advanced systems will have shut-off valves. They'll have flow monitors. They're hooked up in line with the water inlet to the building. We asked for three different options from a vendor. Kind of the minimum that meets the requirement, which is just notification. You know, monitoring and notification. And then there was a second option that added flow metering or flow monitor, and then a third option that actually added automatic shutoffs on the water inlet. That's what we would recommend, is actually going with the more robust option. I will caution you, until we actually get the vendor on site. I've sent them pictures of everything. They have to check the valve itself. There may be most of these systems sit on top of the existing valve. Some of them require us to change the valve. So there may actually be a small change order with the contractor to have their plumbing contractor swap out the valve back of meter. We don't expect that to be big. The contractors are used to dealing with this, but what we wind up with if we go with this larger, you know, the more robust system, is we'll get a premium reduction. That's around $10,000 for the larger system, around $8,000 for the smaller system. The net costs of everything after the premium reductions were in that memo. It winds up being about $11,000 for the bigger system. And I don't have an estimate on the change order, but it would be minimal. And then the premium reduction, or the deductible reduction, winds up being $50,000. We had a $150,000 deductible. And the way we structured that in the contract is the town would be responsible for, well, the contractor would be responsible for half of the deductible up to $50,000, and we would be responsible for the remainder. So this is a benefit to us, as it basically reduces our exposure on water claims down to $50,000 from 100. The policy itself and the water protection measures come in at about $225,000 total between the two after the net. We have a total budget for risk retention within the project itself of around $250,000. So we're well within budget. We recommend that we send this to, well, it will go to Permanent Town Building Committee and Library Board of Trustees with a recommendation for option 3. We're asking you to approve it contingent on their approval, just because of the sequence of things.
I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, pipes don't break between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., right? They break at 2 in the morning, and then you've got to get somebody out there with the water gushing out. So it makes no sense to say, hey, there's a problem if the system can fix it on its own. So yeah, it's pretty, I think, pretty obvious decision here.
John?
Yeah, I noticed the coverage is, excuse my voice, I got some laryngitis or something. I noticed
Tea and honey, John.
tea and honey, okay. I was wondering about that. We have a limit of 32 million on there. Would it have been better, would the price change if you just limited it to the construction cost? Because there are a lot of soft costs in that 32 million. There's design cost, there's the contribution from the library trustees or the library commission, and the actual construction cost. You got 23 million down here. That's including, that's not the actual bid price. That's higher than that.
So
Would it improve the, would it lessen the cost to us if we change that limit?
No,
Would that be
because
right?
it doesn't. The way builders risk policies work is essentially when we turn over ownership of that building during construction to the contractor, our property liability insurance goes away. So we don't insure it during that time. So this actually picks up not only the construction, it picks up the property coverage as well.
Okay,
So this covers the property, the existing building, everything during construction essentially moves off of our policy, everything within that site onto their policy or onto this new policy. And it covers the construction as well. We have for the construction budget, that's the construction property limit of that 23.6 that was the original construction budget. It doesn't change if we reduce that down at all. So we're at the, basically we're insuring the entire project, the parcel, everything.
okay, thanks.
Any other questions? So then we go ahead. John, your hand's up still. Is that the question, or you?
Oh, no.
Okay. In that case, we actually got two motions the way this works. So first, we need a motion to approve, subject to the joint approval of the Permanent Town Building Committee and the Library Board of Trustees at a meeting scheduled for May 5th, 2025, a contract with Cabot Risk Strategies for a builder's risk insurance policy for the J.V. Fletcher Library renovation and addition project. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
And just so people know, Chris Barrett just let me know he's having internet issues. I don't see him on the Zoom anymore, so he might not be part of this roll call vote.
Okay. That being the case, all in favor, Tom?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
I'm an aye, and I guess hopefully Chris comes back, but 4-0 at least. And the second and related motion is to approve, subject to the joint approval of the Permanent Town Building Committee and the Library Board of Trustees at a meeting scheduled for May 5th, 2025, a contract with Insight Risk Technologies for water intrusion protection services for the J.V. Fletcher Library renovation and addition project. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, Andrea?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Tom? Tom?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So 4-0. Is there anything else that that's it for the agenda? Is there anything else we need to discuss that is within the bounds of open meeting? My guess is not. So
So for the final time, I'll move to adjourn.
is there a second?
I will second with great gratitude to Andrea and Scott for their final meeting.
Yes,
Uh,
I hope
Thanks,
that-
everybody.
that-
And
Thank you.
actually, and while we're here, just thanks for everything last Tuesday. I've
Absolutely.
said that some individually, but you know, not to all of you. So that was very special. You know, so thank you for that honor.
We've enjoyed having you. I know I've only been here a short time, but I've certainly enjoyed working with this board, and I think both of you have made me and certainly Kristen better at our job. So we appreciate that.
Yes, thank you so much. We
Yeah.
really appreciate working with you and wish you all the best. And please call us.
We will.
Calling you.
We have your number, Kristen. That's a mistake. It's a cell phone we have. So
That's
just change your
right.
number real quick.
Absolutely.
I have mics too.
Me too, actually. Yeah. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, just you can raise your hand. Well, no, Tom can't, but we got 3 votes. So
Aye.
Thank you all for the special meetings.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Be well, be
And
safe,
don't
everybody.
forget, come
Take
in
care.
before Tuesday and sign the lease.